Hi everyone. So yeah, nice introduction. Bring has been alive for about 5 years, so I will try to give you in 20 minutes more or less everything we've learned and seen in those last 5 years. And I've heard a lot of discussions around in different stages and locations around what is the difference in retailers and what's the change and why is it happening and how we do it. And I think that it's always important to remember the target and why are we doing and why is this change happening. 76% of consumers today think customer experience is the number one important thing when buying in the experience of retailers. This is the most important thing, that if you take one thing from this lecture and what I'm talking about, is the one thing that you should live with. This is the reason for everything. When we're talking about deliveries, and I will talk a lot about deliveries by themselves are only a way to do customer experience. Okay, it's just a way for a means. 54% of millennials buy only online, which means even though, believe it or not, today e-commerce in the United States, which is probably the biggest crowd for e-commerce in the United States is about, anybody knows? What's the percentage of e-commerce in the US? It's 10%. 10% of commerce in the US is e-commerce. So everything we're talking about, all the changes we're talking about, all the revolution, all the money, all the customer experience is only 10%. And those 54% millennials, we're going to change it in the future. So the most of the market, the most of the change is yet to come, which is very important because there is a lot of room and a lot of time to adapt and change to what's happening. And 2/3 of customers will choose a retailer based on the experience they had. Meaning, what we are investing in customer experience is lifetime value of a customer. We are not necessarily investing in the experience of the customer so they will enjoy it once. We are investing it so they will return, so they will be back and buy some more. At the end of the day, customer experience is a new battlefield. And customer experience is everything from the customer seeing the brand name for the first time before they come to the e-commerce site or even the store. What is their experience when they are buying? What is their experience when they are checking out of the basket? Their choice of delivery options and the actual delivery person coming to the door, delivering the package on time, every time. All of that is the experience. In addition to that, the ability for them to return what they don't like, to express their voice in terms of rating and so on and so forth, and to have somebody from the brand react to those voices. So allowing us as customers to control our time and to be able to be heard, all of this is customer experience. And all of this is the challenge that every retailer has to rise up for and face. In practicality, those were all nice words, but in practicality, the challenges are endless. They are everywhere. They are around the size of the market that is growing. They are around different behaviors. They are around different brands and different ways. They are around how do you deliver in different areas. How do you deliver inside of London and how do you deliver in non-urban areas at the same time with the same experience? How do you work with your own fleet of deliveries if you have one? Or how do you work with third-party fleets? How do you measure the difference between them? How do you slowly migrate from one to another? And obviously, how do you make all of this customer experience change while being profitable? Because this is a one-time, maybe place in history where we need to improve customer experience, but at the same time improve efficiencies and costs. And usually, it's one of the other. And historically speaking, people had to improve costs and hurt customer experience a little bit, or improve customer experience and high expenses. In this period, you have to do both at the same time. So we've come up during the 5 years that Bring help retailers deliver with an easy rulebook to follow. It's just a high level, obviously. but a lot of experience, a lot of know-how, and a lot of attention was put into those details. We've divided it into 6, let's say, phases that help us think about the process. The way I usually like to think about it is it's not phases that you go through one after the other, you have to live through all of these 6 phases all the time. Okay, those are happening in parallel, and each time throughout delivering experience of retailers, you improve one, and you make sure that the rest continue to exist. You improve another, and you think about the rest. They're all happening in parallel, and they will also keep evolving with time, and I'll talk about them. So number 1 is customer experience, okay? You build the customer loyalty for customer experience. You build returning customers. You build their ability to trust your brand, that not only you receive good customer experience as a consumer, they receive it every time. They can trust this experience. Usually around this, my favorite example is actually from the pizza industry. It's different, but in terms of customer experience, it's the same. Domino's, which is one of the most successful customer-centric brands in the world, promises pizza delivery in 30 minutes every time. Other brands sometimes get 30 minutes. Sometimes they get 40, sometimes they get 20. The fact that customers can trust Domino's to be there every time under 30 minutes has a huge cause in their growth, and we see it every time. That said, we have more and more and more brands and retailers offering experience. How do you differentiate yourself? How do you build the unique experiences that are specific to your brand? It's crucial that you will make this experience unique to your customers and to your brand. Symbolize what your brand means to your customers. At the same time, you have to optimize and reach operational efficiencies. You need to enable flexibility in your models. You need to enable flexibilities in different markets. You have to enable flexibility in your technological adaptations. All of these will arrive with operational efficiencies. Maybe the biggest challenge for efficiency these days was quite a surprise for us when we started working in this field, but it's visibility. Allow visibility throughout your logistical chain for yourself as a brand, for a retailer, and for your customers, and for your fleets, and for the entire logistical system. This visibility does not exist today. Once your customer care, once your customers, once the retail, once the website, once everybody is talking in the same languages within the same system in the same real time, then you can reach efficiencies, and only then. Those two combined are the logistical excellence that I'm talking about. Those two combined are a very rare and very challenging target that today very few companies have managed to excel in, and they are very proud of it. Amazon, by the way, is one of those companies, and they always say that the trust and the customer loyalty that they have today will only last as long as they keep those two running together. Even they know that it's not forever. They understand that their only advantage today is the fact that they are ahead of the curve in terms of adapting, in terms of changing, in terms of trying new things, in terms of scaling, making profit, and giving this customer experience all the time new things. And you see that Amazon as a company does not, while they are doing great, they are changing all the time. They are trying new things because they know themselves that it can change in a second. This is also the opportunity for retailers, because Amazon is trying to reach into new fields, into new areas, into new geographical areas where retailers have been existing for a long time, and the customer loyalty and customer base and customer interaction is much stronger with existing retailers. Use this connection, use this knowledge of the retailers with your customers to offer something that nobody else can. You need to think about the entire ecosystem. Excellence and visibility, like I said, are when everybody is looking at the same thing. In a complete ecosystem, consumers, online online shops, the inventories, the warehouses, the drivers that deliver, and the customers themselves on the other side, all of them are an ecosystem. And all of them have to see the advantage of offering a better service and higher efficiencies. If one of those chains, one of those links is broken or is not strong enough, everything breaks. You see the successful companies, the successful retail companies, when they are building new things, when they are building their direct-to-consumer relationship, they build this entire chain as one. Sometimes it's external fleet. It doesn't have to be the, ownership in terms of employees, but everybody has visibility. Think about the entire ecosystem. When a driver comes in and delivers the goods of a retailer that is maybe 7 degrees or 7 levels away from them, they are employees in a third-party fleet that is hired by another fleet that is hired by a delivery company that is hired, and so on and so forth. If they feel part of this process, if they feel part of this ecosystem, then the delivery is good because they are accountable. And when all of these 4 things are put in combined, you have to think how you scale this. Because a good solution is not, does not happen in one geographical location. Okay? You have to scale to different locations inside the city, outside the city, in different cities. In each of those locations, you have different ecosystems, different customers, different behaviors. We've seen places that even hiring and legal and payments are very different, and behaviors of customers are different. We've seen places that a single retailer delivered to customers that love paying online, and we've seen places that customers like to pay cash on delivery. And we've seen all of this combined with one retailer, which means the same retailer has to think about all of these things combined, and at the same time, this is what we call scale. Okay? So, which leads me to number 6, and this is maybe the tricky part, because everything that I've just said, people tried it. If you've been around in the early 2000s, people tried it 20 years ago and failed. What's different now is that the technology matured. The way to do the same things today successfully is by spreading a technological layer on top of all the services that we are doing. Number of layers that are talking to each other, okay? And this allows the driver to be able to know where they are coming from. This allows the customer to rate the driver no matter which fleet they are coming from. This allows the customer to call customer care back when they want to. And this customer care knows in real time. Doesn't matter where they are in the world, doesn't matter where the delivery is in the world, doesn't matter all the connections in between. Immediately, in real time, answer a customer and solve their problem. The only reason that now this is possible is that there is enough technology and the technology is mature. So we kind of put a technology layer on top of everything on our logistical chain, and this makes it work. And one more important thing about technology, everything I talked about was about where we are now and what will happen maybe in the next 1 or 2 years. What will happen in 5 years? When you are investing now, when you are changing your technology and your partners and your own organization to be a learning organization, to be seeing what customers are talking and respond back, think about 5 years from now. How do you do it? How do you do it when you don't know where you're going? How do you build the right infrastructure, the right DNA, the right technology that can adapt and innovate? All of these things are important because in the new world, in where we are going to, it's about changing. It's not about somebody coming in and telling you, I know what you have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wish it was that simple. What I'm trying to talk about are principles, okay? And one of the most important principles is learn to innovate. Make it part of your DNA to always change. See what there is, innovate, implement, and go throughout this cycle again and again and again. So, just to conclude what we are looking to do in a delivery cycle, when you want to talk about the delivery side of things, of the implementation and operation, the Open Delivery Cloud is the concept of a delivery cloud that is not based on one company. It is based on a collection of companies that is changing. Even as a retailer, you can deliver through many delivery clouds. You can deliver with a cloud that connects to other cloud that is maybe at the end of the road connects to Uber or a delivery company or an internal fleet. It doesn't really matter. What matters is to have this visibility and connections throughout your logistical chain as a retailer. Leverage your own logistical IP if you have it. Leverage your own customer knowledge IP. You know your customers as a retailer. You know what they want. Find some type of technology or a layer that allows you to keep this advantage. This is the advantage that you have from years, and the connectivity is the advantage that lets you get to the next years. Integrate existing processes that work, replace only those that don't work now. In 2 years, I promise you, you will have other processes that don't work. Replace them in 2 years, that's fine. But find the technology and a cloud that connects everything and allows you to change and keep innovate all the time. Routing logic is probably, it's slightly more technical, but it's probably one of the most important things to receive ROI. At the end of the day, the number of deliveries and the driver recruitment allow drivers, like I said, there is an entire ecosystem, so allowing drivers to make more money and allowing drivers to represent you at the optimal way in front of the customer. They are maybe the drivers, the delivery, the couriers are one of the most important parts of the chain. They are not the customer, they are not the retailer, they are somewhere in the middle, but they are the most important part, because without them, nothing happens. And the experience that they bring, because they bring the parcel, they bring the delivery, is the most important thing. This is the touch point. So invest in them, let them know what is happening, and give them what they want. And security and privacy, while people, unless they are a security company, don't talk about them, are one of the biggest challenges that are coming in the next years. Security is pretty obvious because we are being hacked all the time, but privacy is changing. Privacy is one of the most challenging things when you are trying to prepare for the future, because nobody knows exactly where it's going. Different countries are insisting on different privacy laws. It will change everything in the retail world. So what I'm saying is, obviously, you have the rules that you have to comply with today, but think about privacy. Stay ahead of the game. See what is coming and try to be the one that is emphasizing it. That's a little bit about us, but I think that the most important thing is maybe questions, and I don't know exactly how I'm getting those questions.
I think we've got a couple of questions actually. We've got 2 minutes. So, anonymous first one, where does customer experience start in your mind?
Customer experience obviously starts when they land, maybe in the marketing. That's the number one. Number two is when they land in your website or in the store. This is number one. And when I'm talking about an open delivery system, so think about this small window when a customer goes out of the e-commerce site or when they go out of the store, and you want to offer them the delivery window. This delivery window is one of the most important customer experience part of a customer when they head out, allowing them to choose what's good for them, allowing them maybe to pay different prices according to what they want. Maybe they want to pay a little bit extra to get it in an hour, maybe they don't want to and they don't mind getting it in a week. Allowing those options, but also make it reliable. When they choose something, this is what is happening. This is one of the most important early part of the customer experience. Then obviously doing what you've promised is another one.
And I think there's a nice question here, probably from a big retailer. How do you increase invisibility across delivery operations where legacy systems don't allow it?
So, slowly. Yeah, you do it slowly. So you integrate those systems to a newer system. You slightly and periodically exchange and renew those legacy software. The advantage, this is a big challenge. I will not say it's not, but the advantage is that delivery is very geographically oriented. So you choose the areas that don't have those legacy systems. You offer better experience and better services in areas that you can. You see the result. And usually, and I can tell you from 5 years of experience and a lot of deliveries, that the results are very quickly. Everybody is making more money from the retailer to the delivery companies to the drivers, and obviously customers are enjoying it, so they order more. Once you have these results, you go back to those areas of legacy systems and you show them, if we do this and that, everybody will make more money. You convince them, we can change. And then the first few are willing to make this change, and they have great results. And then you go to the others, and then it's a loop.
That was an absolutely brilliant answer, because you answered it with a second to spare. So please put your hands together for Leo and Bring. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.